I think your taste buds change when you cut the sugar out, and then things do become sweeter, but natural products become sweeter. So you don't miss, the sugar so much. But I don't think there's much resistance to people realising that sugar is not good. But cereals, I think that's a massive thing. Hello and welcome to Sugar Free TV. I'm so excited about today's episode as we are joined by the founder of an amazing low sugar, low carb baking brand, Go Low, Louise Gross. Welcome, Louise.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
It's so exciting. I'm really excited about today's show because we found, I've got a cat that's just walked in, but don't worry, she was the show. We found a fellow low carb baker. How exciting! How exciting! So, Louise, tell us about your inspiration for your brand. This is a great story.
Sure. Well, it started quite a while back, actually. I had my 3 children close together within 3 years. And after that, I'd, put on and initially looked at doing a low-carb diet to, lose those extra pounds of baby weight. So my brother-in-law at the time, this was about 10 years ago. So brother-in-law at the time was working with a lot of bodybuilders and people who were on more high protein diets. He was looking at low-carb and keto diets. So he gave me a lot of insight and he was very knowledgeable and still is, a lot of insight into that way of eating. So I tried it and I enjoyed it and I found that it was something that worked for me and I could stick to. But on top of that, I, like a lot of people do, realised that there were lots of other benefits as well. I was sleeping better, I had more energy that I needed, with three boys, as you can imagine. And I was sleeping better, my skin improved, my hair improved. It was a diet or a lifestyle, if you like, that I thought I can stick to this. This is durable. But I did miss, all the high carb foods that it was necessary to cut out, all the things that we know packed with sugar and carbs. So over time, I've started to make my own recipes, like cookies and brownies, that type of thing. And also during that time, I found out that my middle daughter is gluten intolerant. So it also tied in with that because all the products or all the recipes that I was making at the time were gluten free as well. So it kind of served 2 purposes, if you like. So she could have her goodies because at that time, there's a lot more on the market now, gluten free, and all that to keep you on track and tie you over. But yes, I started doing that. And then as low carb diet has sort of grown in popularity in the UK, I could see a business opportunity, and there was a need for these types of products. And I like the idea of a baking mix because it's not processed. It's basically created that convenience, for people. They don't have to shops, buy a massive bag of almond flour that costs a fortune, and all the individual ingredients, it's all there in one place, and it's convenient for the quick and easy to make. So it's a business idea, and set it up in lockdown in 2020.
Wow.
So, and it's, gone from there.
Fantastic. How exciting. And whereabouts in the UK are you based? I can hear a northern accent.
Yeah. I'm based in Ilkley in West Yorkshire.
Oh, fantastic. So are there many low carbers up there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of customers down south, especially in London. But it's moving further north. And yes, there are different low carb communities around, local to where I live. But it's not quite as prolific as in the south, I find. It's definitely growing, and people that I've spoken to over the past few years have got much more of an understanding now of what it's about, like keto. People understand more sort of the word keto and what it stands for a lot more now than they did, say, 3 or 4 years ago. So, really.
Can you tell us a bit about, see those lovely products that you've got behind you there? Could you tell us a bit about, because those are the packets that are the ones that are free. What do you actually do? What goes into those?
Yeah, so I started off making them literally at my kitchen table. That's how I started with it. But as my business has grown, I've been able to outsource that to a co-packer so that they do that, obviously still based on my recipes, and I test all the products for quality control once they've been produced. But that just allows me then to focus on other areas of the business. But within the mixers, there are 6 at the moment, and I'm looking to develop couple more this year, but we've got brownies, cookies, cedar crackers, which are the best seller actually, wraps, and then pancake and waffle and French style crepes. So all of them are made from completely clean ingredients with no additives or preservatives. And what I aim to do as well is to add functional ingredients in there. So that got linseeds and sesame seeds, which you probably know classed as superfoods, and then raw cacao powder, which has got it's most well known, I think, for its magnesium content. Not many foods have magnesium in there, so it's got a high magnesium content in there. And then the most of them, apart from the wraps, are made from ground almond base, so vitamin E, so lots of health benefits, as well as just cutting out the sugar, which is like the overriding theme. But there are also additional health benefits as well from the ingredients. But like I said, they're all clean ingredients, and that's part of the ethos of what I'm doing, is to maintain that. So there's no preservatives or additives in there or anything.
Sounds awesome.
Fantastic. And so, in terms of your the benefits to your health since you stopped eating sugar, I mean, like, you said that your skin and everything improved. And have you seen a sort of improvement in health across the family? I mean, what's happened to the rest of you?
Yeah, I know. It's like my daughter at the moment. She's studying for her GCSEs, and I know that her mood is more level, her concentration is better when she's got a lower sugar intake. I mean, the sugar from our children, and now low sugar. And I do encourage them to eat a low sugar diet. So, I've noticed concentration, mood as well. And I've noticed for myself, maybe it's a menopause related thing, but inflammation. That's definitely been a big thing for me. I've noticed less aches and pains, less, like sometimes I used to wake up in the morning and my fingers would feel a bit stiff. Sometimes by cutting out the sugar, that's gone. And my skin's clearer and more energy, and I sleep better. So yeah, those are like the main benefits that I've noticed.
Literally no downsides to this, are there? Not to give it up.
I don't think there are any downsides to cutting out sugar.
No, that's it. So, what I wanted to say to you is, in terms of the sugar replacement that you use, so tell us about that, because I think a lot of people associate having to go for the no sugar option. They think it's going to have to be like the diet option, like that fake saccharin sort of thing. So tell us about what you replace the sweetness with.
Yeah, so I use erythritol. Because I find that that's got the cleanest taste. It's the grossest it's used for baking with, and it's the closest to replicate sugar. And I find that when I use that, I'll often get comments that you can't tell it's not got sugar in it. They don't know the difference. I've tried stevia, and I personally just don't like it at all. I don't like the aftertaste. In fact, the aftertaste for me lingers for a whole day.
That's
just it keeps reminding me, I didn't enjoy that. And whereas with erythritol, it's clean, it doesn't linger, and so it's my sugar replacement of choice.
Well, that's music to our ears.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's the thing that we found, is that we've done lots and lots of taste testing on erythritol, and people have taste tested it. They like the texture. the fact that it doesn't have that aftertaste that lingers, and that it's completely natural as well. It comes from, fruit and vegetables and things. And, it's just such a shame that we're not making it in the UK yet, because obviously that would make it a lot better from a sort of a world miles perspective. But so tell us about the sort of the proteins and things that are in the mix, as you mentioned. You mentioned that side of things, because obviously that's got to be quite a key element. What are actually added? What do you add for that?
I don't add anything specific other than the natural ingredients. So each are individual in terms of protein content.
Yeah.
But you could just refer to the back of one of them.
Yes, yeah. Please.
Let's pull up. So, on the brownies, for example, protein content would be 10.4 grams per 100 grams.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a protein in the almond flour. And like I said, all the mixes are based on being made from ground almonds. So that's like the main ingredient, apart from the rye, which they're made from coconut flours, because I'm aware that because they work best with the coconut flour, to create that suppleness that you want from a wrap. But with these, because they're made from coconut flour and psyllium husk, packed with fiber, which when I think especially on a low carb or a keto diet, it's sometimes challenging to get fiber in there, and people struggle with that. So that's a really good one for the fiber content. But yeah, they've all got good protein content, and they're not sort of classed as protein baking mixes, if you like, but they do have a good protein content in all of them.
And I guess you could always add, if you wanted to, for example, in brownies, I know that sometimes I've looked at recipes and people have added walnuts and things. So you can always add those in, I guess, to the mix, and then cook with those added. Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
They're really good with walnuts added, actually. That's something that I do with them as well.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a chocolate plus walnuts is one of my definitely hooked on that combination.
Yeah,
that is so good. So in terms of what your vision is, like what do you see? Where do you see your role in kind of helping people reduce sugar in the UK, and how do you see your business kind of evolving from here? Because that's kind of, we're all business owners here, and it's just so exciting to see other businesses growing in this space.
Yeah, it is. And I think there's a lot of some in businesses within, with it being a fairly new, in relative terms, concept in the UK. I think the trend is, from the statistics that I've been looking at, it's the low carb and low sugar-free diet is the fastest growing and the most popular choice of diet in the UK at the moment. So my vision for the business is to make the products accessible to all, and I would love to see products on the supermarket shelves, and that's something that I'm working on at the moment. And if we were able to scale on that level, then of course we're able to bring the cost down, because I'm aware at the moment, obviously, if you compare a bag of flour to a bag of ground almonds, there's a huge difference in the actual raw ingredients. So to be able to bring the cost down, we need to be able to look at volume. And if we can look at volume, then we can bring the cost down and then make that more accessible for more people. Because I think typically keto, low carb products, there is the premium at the moment, isn't there? Like we were saying earlier about sugar versus erythritol, that there is a premium there. But I also think that people are investing in the health, and so it's not necessarily a barrier. But I think that if we could scale, then we could do something about that side of things as well. So yes, that would be ultimately the way forward, and to grow, continue doing what I'm doing, really, in terms of speaking to people like yourselves and collaborating and spreading the word and just, and building that that knowledge base to push out to other people. Yeah.
So I was going to just quickly pick up on one of the points there that we find is very relevant, and that is that, and you were talking about it yesterday, Nabila, was that we believe that when people are probably, in terms of cakes, we're saying that cakes in some ways, although they may be slightly more expensive if they're buying better ingredients, or they're buying things that are, perhaps not like the traditional sugars and flours, they will be slightly more expensive. But cakes should be a treat. We shouldn't necessarily be eating a slice of gatto every day and thinking that's okay. But of course, the problem being that with all the sugar in it, it hits that part of the brain where people are saying, great, lovely, I need a bit of cake. And so, and if people can start thinking slightly differently about about things like, it's not really a cost thing, it's possibly consuming less of it. I think that's something you were saying, wasn't it, Vito, about having cake as a treat?
Yeah, I think what's happened is, we are sort of trying to help people wake up to the idea that actually sugar is too cheap. Sugar is too cheap, and there is a big price that we're paying for our health. So, with these cheap, fast foods, junk foods that are out there that are basically foods of addiction, they're designed specifically to be addictive, so that we keep going back for more, and with zero nutritional benefit to the body, and a maximum addiction qualities in there. And so, with that said, we've kind of got used to not having to pay very much for these foods. Whereas I don't know about you when you were growing up. When I was growing up, having something sweet was an actual treat. It wasn't something that we were having every single day. But there are people with drawers in their house full of sweets that they give their children every day. They're not giving these things occasionally. They are giving these things every single day. Children and families have got used to this kind of eating, which is indulgence eating for every day. On the other hand, we don't want to say don't have the treats, but the treats need to be that. They do need to be a treat. And if they are an occasional treat, the price doesn't really matter so much, does it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we're finding. So yeah, we've just recently launched a newsletter to our subscribers called The Sweet Revolution, and it's really about kind of highlighting the dangers of sugar addiction, how that's playing out, and and sharing options and actually things that can be done really quite easily, like taking out the sugar and replacing it with something like erythritol. Brilliant. So do you have you done any work with schools and with parents, or where do you see that sort of in the domestic market?
No, I haven't, but that's something that I would be interested in pursuing. I do have an interest in working with the family market, if you like, in mind. So yeah, that's certainly something I would look at in the future. I've got lots and lots of ideas. So it's kind of, a one-woman band at the moment. So it's a chance of, deciding which route to go down first. So yeah, but it's certainly something in hospitals as well. People who got certain health conditions or closed up, that's a route that I'm looking at with somebody else. So there are so many different avenues to go down, aren't there, with this? It just affects everybody, literally everybody. So
that's what we were saying the same in hospitals. Even if they cut 50% of their sugar out and switch, like obviously we talk about erythritol, but imagine the difference it would make to people that are lying in a bed being fed, sort of syrup, sponge, and custard. And they're not, and wondering why they're still not well after 6 months, and we had a doctor we were talking to, and he, Dr. Unwin, who's written a lot of papers on the subject, and he went sugar-free because he was getting massive inflammation. One day he couldn't walk downstairs, and he has converted, how many thousand of his patients has he?
So many people have completely reversed type 2 diabetes and got the patients off medication just from diet, and it's just making that switch to a low GI diet and taking sugar out of the equation. It's just got no benefit to it. But people are have you found that there are people that are resistant to this? And if so, kind of what sort of things, so what are the objections that they're coming up with?
Um, I'm thinking about resistance. I mean, I think most people accept that sugar is not good. It's generally people are aware of that, aren't they? I think what I found is people don't necessarily associate sugar with like white bread or hidden sugars, if you like. I mean, processed foods. They think, oh, it's cutting out sweets or not putting sugar in you take or cakes and that kind of thing. Whereas I think there's probably more of a way to go in terms of education where the hidden sugars are, for sure. I mean, even like ham, and sausages can have sugar in, can't they? And they often do. And I think it's changing people's palates. So that I noticed with my palate, it changed so that like double cream would taste sweet or carrots would taste super sweet, so I think your taste buds change when you cut the sugar out, and then things do become sweeter, but natural products become sweeter. So you don't miss, the sugar so much. But I don't think there's much resistance to people realizing that sugar is not good. But cereals, I think that's a massive thing. I mean, so many cereals are branded and pushed forward and marketed as good for you, don't they? But when you look at them and the second ingredient is sugar, and, it's just, and there's shelves and shelves of them in the supermarket, and biscuits and things. And I think cereals is probably a biggie. People don't realise just how much. And some of the bars that are classed as nutritional bars, that are supposed to be healthy for us, we're packed with sugar. And also people recognising the different terms for sugar on packaging, the labelling.
Very sneaky, isn't it? Very, very sneaky.
Well,
yeah, absolutely. With those kind of fruit syrups and things like that they can add, and they'll say no, no added sugar, but actually what they'll add is kind of apple syrup or something like that in there, and which is just as sugary as putting some apple juice. We actually use that in hospitals if we can't get hold of any Lucozade. If somebody's having a hypo in hospital, we'll grab the apple juice because that will push their blood sugar just as quickly. So yeah, just packed full of sugar, and people don't think about it. But it's been brilliant. Do you have any last questions that you wanted to ask, Luke?
Well, no, I mean, it sounds absolutely brilliant. And so as far as where things as far as where the products are being sold currently, are you selling how are you actually going to market? Is it online? Is it through
website, which is globalbaking.co.uk, and then we sell them on Amazon and also through other specialist low-carb online shops as well. There's a number of stockists that sell our products as well online. Those are the main. It's mostly online at the moment, to be honest, which is good because it means that we can reach more people, and it's UK wide, and we do get overseas orders as well through the website. So,
yeah, we've been the same. Ours is growing as an e-commerce brand, and yeah, it's amazing when you get those orders from abroad, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm sending it to Australia. How exciting! And people are certainly waking up. So it's been really a pleasure having you on. Is there any last sort of things that you want to, any pieces of advice or gold nuggets that you want to sort of encourage people if they're on the fence about going sugar-free? Is there any kind of last words of wisdom you wanted to leave with them?
I would say just try it, like I say with the erythritol, which obviously that's, your product. I've personally found that I know my children enjoy the products that I make using erythritol. So I would say just try it and see, because you've got absolutely nothing to lose and you've got everything to gain by trying it. And if your family accepts it and enjoys it, why not use it as a direct replacement? Because it's just cutting out some of the damaging effects of sugar. So that would be my sort of, just give it a go. What have you got to lose?
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's been a real pleasure. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add to that, Luke?
No, I was just going to say, no, exactly. You hit the nail on the head there, because people should try it and then see, because, people are often quite shocked that, there is a good replacement to sugar out there. And then through your products, they can say, wow, yeah, if they're making brownies or something, even a dad at home or whatever, making it for the kids, you can get the mix, produce brownies in a half an hour or something like that, and then and you've got something that that's healthy and good for you, and one of the things that I'm really passionate about with the children, getting the children onto it, is that that's where the lifestyle changes, and we need to be getting the children into the baking side. And that's the thing. Our whole ethos is all about, getting engagement, so that people start cooking, start using our product, because it's not about having a product and it's sitting on the shelf in the cupboard. It's about getting people to use it, isn't it? And I think that the thing that I particularly don't like about sugar is that there are so many things that we're not considering that are negative, like trips to the dentist. Although it's cheap, the cost actually is quite high, because you've got all of the time lost, children's time in, all that sort of thing, the dental care, and obviously it's spiking the blood sugar, the concentration that the children lose at school by having sugar highs after a cereal, as you mentioned, with all that sugar in it. And we're thinking these are healthy options for our children. And of course, the yogurts as well, they're packed with sugar. So that's the thing, isn't it? It's an education. Say to people, have a look at the back. Just because it says low fat, it does mean it's then bulked with sugar. So that is the unhealthy option. But of course, we've been led to believe that going low fat is healthy. Whereas, of course, we can burn more, or we've got more energy from fat if that's what we're used to starting to burn. So, thank you so much for your time. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. And of course, we'll provide some links as well to your site, so people can have a look. And we really hope to have you back soon, and possibly even meet you in person. And that would be great. And have a big it's been a pleasure, Louise Gross, and we wish you all the success in your business.
Thank you.